You were talking really before about how speech and God, so maybe it's obvious, but how does speech glorify or not glorify the Lord in this setting?
hmm Um, so what I think is a wonderful thing about speech is that in most events, it doesn't really lend itself like for STEM, but most of the events, like you can bring your faith into it, right?
Mm,
Certainly apologetics and Mars Hill, but when you're giving an OO speech, an original oratory speech, like you can incorporate elements of faith or Bible verses
mhm.
or things like that into your speech. And and the interesting thing is that with the exception of apologetics, you may have non-Christians who are judging you, from the community, because we do recruit community judges. And so you never know if your speech is going to, hit someone in a way, leave a little seed, start a little
Yeah.
spark, that kind of thing. Um, I think that though, on the other hand, students have to, and parents kind of have to be aware of this too, right? That we never want to pander, use our faith to pander to a judge. And and because that certainly doesn't glorify God, right? When we
Right.
use our um try to use our faith in a way that is, manipulating a person, in the hopes that they'll give you a higher rank or what have you.
Sure.
And so unfortunately, like we do see young people,
Mm,
from time to time, it's like, that's not really sincere what you're saying,
right.
Um, but I also think in terms of speech and glorifying the Lord, well, I think he's glorified whenever we do something that develops our skills and abilities. And I see it especially in students who I've definitely judged and have been a coach of people that have had speech impediments, right?
Yeah.
But but they get up and they do their
Hmm.
speeches,
Yeah.
or uh, people who or young people have you know overcome shyness, like
Hmm.
that they were just terrified to get up and speak in front of people. And the fact of the
Yeah.
matter is, when you're doing speeches, you technically are only doing it for three people, three judges,
Oh,
in the
okay.
room, or two judges in the room. Now, you might have students come in and watch or
Hmm.
what have you, but it's not like you're getting up in front of a whole auditorium of people. And
Yeah.
so if someone is really, really shy, like it's a great, I feel like, opportunity and safe space for them
Yeah.
to say, okay, I'm going to try to do something brave. I'm going to
Yeah.
try to do something that will help me become a better me,
Hmm.
if that's what they feel really called to do,
Yeah.
And it was interesting one year at NITALK, one of the finalists, NITALK is the national championship. She did what she called her letter to Stoa, and in that she talked about how she was a shy person,
Mm,
and the process of her, you know uh, fighting through it. And she
hmm.
said even
Mm.
to that day she was better and she was more confident, but she still got nervous
Yeah,
right
sure.
before she gave a speech, and she still had that little bit of apprehension. And but she knew that she was, challenging herself by doing
Yeah.
it, every year. So yeah, I think those are, some of the ways that the Lord can be glorified through speeches, for sure.
That's good.